Now that I've created the foundation of the boss, I'll start a sketch on the top face to create the rounded portion of the tombstone shape. The best way to do this would be to use a tangent arc to create the rounded shape. But SOLIDWORKS requires you to first have a sketch segment to connect it to. To get around this, I'll first sketch a line segment along the edge of the boss. And now, I can use the Tangent Arc tool to create an arc that is perpendicular to this line. The sketch is fully defined, so I'll create the extrude. It's always a good idea to switch to an isometric view and make sure the extrude is going in the right direction. I know I want the extrude to always be as thick as the block, so rather than using a blind depth, I'll capture this design intent by using the up to surface end condition. I'll select the bottom face of the block as the end surface and click OK. Now that the boss is fully created, I can make the next feature, the Hole Wizard hole on this top face. I'll select the face and launch the Hole Wizard. This hole is going to be counterbored, again using the ANSI inch standard. I'll set the type to socket head cap screw and the size to 1/4 inch. The end condition will be up to surface, using the bottom face of the boss as the end surface. I'll switch to the Positions tab, and I want the hole to be concentric to the arc of the boss, so I can either place the point and add a concentric relation as I did for the previous hole, or if I hover over the edge of the arc, you can see the center point of the arc wakes up and I can place the sketch point directly on it, creating a coincident relation that will keep the hole concentric to the arc. I'll click OK, and the hole is added. At this point, half of the model is complete. To create the rest of the part, I'll launch the mirror feature. Instead of using a plane as the mirror reference, I'll use the bottom face of the part. I'm not going to mirror features or faces in this case. I'll instead activate the Bodies to Mirror selection box and select the body in the graphics window. You can now see a preview of what the result will be. I'll accept this, and the model is complete. You can see how designing half of the model and then mirroring it is efficient and captures my design intent. If I take a look at the mass properties on the Evaluate toolbar, you can see that the center of mass in the Y direction is equal to 0, indicating that this part is perfectly symmetric about the Y-axis. If I decide to make a change to the part, for instance editing the dimensions of the first sketch, all I have to do is make the change here, and the other half will automatically update. If I again check the mass properties, you can see that the center of mass in the Y direction is still 0. While this approach is very powerful, there might be cases when you wouldn't want to use it. For instance, if I don't need to have the counterbored hole on both sides of the part, I can take a different approach to build some flexibility into this part, allowing me to choose which features I do and don't want to mirror.